Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back For those that are about to come back and everybody that'll watch on replay, this is Beyond the Brand Live. This is only my second talk. So I'm super excited about today's talk. I'm trying to make sure Instagram gets connected too. But today I wanted to talk about the power of your partnerships. Hey, Instagram. I want to talk about the power of your partnerships, the power of your relationships as it pertains to your branding, but also as it pertains to where you want to go in your future, where you envision yourself a little bit later. Last week, I talked about the power of your vision and your voice, how all of that matters to the people that you're actually able to reach. And so I wanted to be a little bit practical. And so I have a special guest joining me in a few minutes. I can't wait to dig into that. But let me just check and see that Instagram is all here. And that you guys can see me okay. I'm gonna let a few people come in. Hi, Evelina. Evelina is definitely, like I mentioned the last time, a perfect example of brand partnerships because she is like the partner that I have, and I'm super blessed to have. And I'm definitely going to be bringing her on a little bit later to talk about what she does with Lena Imaging as well, because it's absolutely impossible to get everything done by yourself. And so who you link up with is so important. I just made a post a little bit earlier that says where you're going to next matters for who's with you. So whoever's with you is almost determining where you're going to go. They're either going to help you steer in the right direction or they're going to get you off track. And so all of that is so important for exactly what you're trying to build when we talk about branding. I have a quote that I want to read really quickly. That is from one of my favorite books. Can you guys see this? It's called Right People, Right Place, Right Plan by Jensen Franklin. Can you see this, Instagram? This is one of the books that have kind of shaped my life. I remember when I was kind of searching for exactly where I needed to be, who I needed to be with, and even who I needed to be. And it wasn't really about my business at the time, but it was really just about who was God shaping me to be, and the people that he would call me to be around, just so I can kind of, know when I was in the right direction and when I needed to switch it up a little bit. And so in this book, there's a quote from Joyce Myers that I want to read. And it says, she reflects on the book. She says, Jensen Franklin reveals the strategic influence wise and discerning men and women, reveals that strategically influenced wise and discerning men and women can have power in the relationships around them. So she's basically saying that when you're strategically aligned and connected with people that we believe are God ordained for you, then that elevates your lifestyle. In the same way, when it's people that may be going in the opposite direction, I'll talk about some brand partnerships that have actually worked that can slow you down a little bit. And so I'm not going to do too much talking because I'm excited to bring Joy on. But brand partnerships, like off top. Okay. What I have on today is a brand partnership. Okay. It's not official, but these are two totally different brands. But they both are kind of complementing each other. And that's essentially what you want to do in relationships as well. A couple of partnerships that happened recently. A lot of people that follow me know I love Nelly. Okay. He just risked it all on Versus when he slid across the stage. But Nelly just did a brand partnership with Georgia Florida Line. And that's like a major country group. Nelly always had like a country swag rap compilation with him. And so he crossed over and did an entirely country hip hop album for the first time. And apparently it did really, really well. And so that's an example of like a really, really dope brand partnership. What happens when you partner is you get to break through to a whole nother market. People that have never heard of Nelly now know his name because of all the songs that he's done with that group. And then there's also Instagram went down. Then there's also Adidas and Kanye. They just endorsed him. Well, then Kanye turned around and endorsed Sha'Carri Richardson. Like, what better time did she need a partnership to pick herself back up from what happened with the Olympics? And so that just was a few examples of really cool partnerships. So being able to break through to another market, increasing your exposure. So like I said, crossing over to a whole nother network that you normally would not have been in, and adding value. So it's almost like he's just completely signing off like, okay, Sha'Carri, I know that the whole world may be judging you right now, but I'm gonna stand with you. And so that's like one of those, one of the examples of what linking up with the right people actually can do for you. Not just to say that you know somebody, but because this is where I want to level myself up in the future. Okay. And then, all right, so this is recent. So Sierra, the singer, had on, I wish I had the picture, but she had on a number 3 jersey at the, I believe was it the Met Gala? Joy will correct me later, but I think it was either the Met Gala or it was the VMAs. I think it was the gala. But she had on the number 3. And so she's representing her boo, of course. But essentially, she has partnered her life with him. And it's the same way in our business relationships and the same way with our personal relationships. Those things matter so much for where you're trying to go, as I said. Okay. So I just wanted to give you guys that foundation, that groundwork, because I personally have been so blessed to be partnered, kind of not intentionally, with people that have influenced my life and really have set me up for success. Friends, mentors, coaches, obviously older siblings, we didn't get to choose, but I believe God is strategic in everything that he does with us. And so I'm blessed to have an amazing circle. And this young lady that I'm about to introduce you all to is somebody I met, I'm going to bring her on and then we'll talk about, we'll get the story straight. You guys, please welcome Joy Warren, who is my sister and friend. Hi, Joy.
Hey, Jess. If you hear chair squeaking, know that it is the chair. I promise I'm not over here passing gas, quarantine style. Okay.
I got you. For the record, it's the chair.
Yeah.
See this, Joy?
Oh, you're working it. Hey, you got served.
So many people have given me compliments about this shirt. They don't even know what it is. Like, you had some major people like your shirt and they don't know. They just see it and it's like, what's that? I like that. And so
I did. Yeah. I had somebody say to me one time, he was like, "Is that a Basquiat you have on?" I was like, "Oh, but that sounds amazing."
See, then tell me what that is, because I missed that.
I think he's like an artist or something like that. I don't know. Don't give me a line.
Okay.
I was honored. That's all.
Right. That's the most important part. So Joy, tell everybody about yourself. I was about to start telling them how we met, but we got to go way back for that. Instagram can't see you, but I'll share her later on Instagram. But
okay.
Catch us up.
Okay. So, okay. Well, the basic of it is I am a singer, songwriter, based out of Atlanta, but by way of Virginia Beach, Virginia. I'm also entrepreneur and a published author. So I moved out to Atlanta 2014, and I think just
for the record, got it here. Okay,
my website, joywarren.com. But I think I met you, I want to say like maybe like a year before I moved, or the year that I moved, maybe something close to that, which is around 2014.
Yes.
We've known each other from just about the same time that I've been here, which is crazy, like 7 years now. And that time I have done touring with a contemporary Christian band, United Pursuit, and Will Reagan. I have done sync licensing work for TV shows like Greenleaf and The Shy. I've done national jingles for Dove and Vaseline. And I'm also a performance and voice coach. And yeah, just I love what I do. I've been doing it for a long time since I was maybe like 17 years old. And God has just opened up so many doors, and I'm so blessed. But Kingdom Star, which is what I'm wearing and what Jazz has on, is kind of like my personal baby, because this came to me while seeking the Lord to understand where I fit in today's circle of, the entertainment industry, because I never wanted to be too far religious, and I never wanted to be too far worldly. And it seemed to me like the Bible told me about a kingdom that seemed to be the middle ground, like the balance of the two, where Jesus is the center, love is the principle, and you're able to still be able to be who you are, where you are, for his glory. That doesn't mean you have to conform to either extreme. It's just being in Christ, being yourself, who you are, being in whatever industry you're called to be in. That could be, culinary, all the way to dance or music or architecture, whatever, but where you are. And then for his glory, just using your platform, using your sphere, using your influence, using your gifts and your talents and everything that is inside of you to bring glory to God in some way, shape, or form. And I think that has been the real staple of my life, that I've been wanting to, just get out to the world, especially to this generation, when there's so many options and so much compromise, so many, like the reduction of standards completely. And
Yeah.
so Kingdom Star is really to help people understand that there's a better way.
I love it. What do you feel like, Joy, has been like out of all the things that you do? Because you obviously have a brand, so you do a lot of promotion on social media, but you sing. I mean, you're also a minister, like your core is also ministry. What do you feel like, what part of your brand do you feel like you really kind of have locked in on, and you're really more so thriving in that area?
Definitely music. Music is the biggest part of what I do. It's funny because, I've been a vocal coach, but I just recently started doing the performance coaching. And I was speaking to someone about doing it, and she was telling me how she was a life coach. And I was like, I feel like most of my coaching sessions end up leading me to do life coaching stuff. And I was thinking about expanding to that. And she goes, no, you want to stay where your calling is. If music is your calling, then you do that in music, and you will find that you always have an opportunity to be whomever you are right there in music. And I was like, oh, that's so good. Like, you don't, and it just reaffirmed what I'm talking about. You don't have to change who you are. You can stay exactly in the lane that you feel led to be in, and still make moves for your own empire and for God's kingdom as well.
I love that. And that's so Instagram for everybody that just joined. Hi, Journey. Journey is like crushing it. So we're so proud of you. The Humble Beginners brand have joined me again today. I try not to do shout outs because I want to do a podcast, but I couldn't pass that up. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Joy has written this book that's called Kingdom Star. And her motif is to be able to do everything God's called her to do where he's called her to do it. So if she's on a stage with Greenleaf, then she's the Kingdom Star. But even if she's on the stage with I wanted to throw a name out, but even if she's on the stage with SZA.
I had to do I did a show with that you can pick from anybody. Tyrese. Stages have been different, but like in the studio with music, Soul Child, or like wherever I am, whomever I'm working with, being myself, doing what I do for God's glory. Yeah.
See, she said music soul child, so she knows the names way better than I do. But I want you guys just to see the variety of her territory. Like, she's not stuck in one place, but she's still uniquely her everywhere she goes. And so that's the dopeness of you, Joy. Where do you feel like you ultimately want to see? Where do you ultimately want to be? Like in, like a few years? because you're already on your way. But in a few years, what's that place that you kind of envision in your heart that you feel like God can get glory from wherever you are, but what's that place that's like in your heart that you kind of are planning towards with your branding and marketing?
So ideally, I want to have more of a command of different streams of communication.
Okay.
So working on doing that, obviously with the music, we got the book, and then we've got podcast, and I want to start releasing content as far as like little, what are they called? Those little short commercials that
Mm-hmm.
also push the messaging, but it's more animated on the content. So just having a real presence in all of those facets.
But
So
wait, you've done stuff for Dove, right? Like you are already on TV. Like
yeah.
girl is doing jingles, y'all. So can you tell us about that for a
Yeah.
second?
Oh, okay. So, again, with everything that you're talking about, having the circle, being connected to the right people. And I really think that that has been one of the biggest pieces of why I've been able to do the things that I've
Okay.
been able to do, because God puts people in your life. And I always say, if you act right and you work right, you'll be fine. Like if you
Right,
have
right. It'll go right.
people want to be around you, they're going to keep calling you for things. And that's what's happened to me. I met one person that introduced me to 15 people. 3 of those people helped me to walk into 4 of these doors. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and that keeps happening. And I'm just so grateful that, number one, that God sent those people. Number two, that I was able to maximize on those relationships, and not just in a selfish sense either. Because I know a lot of times networking, we're just like, what can I get out of this person, this
Yeah, yeah.
relationship? But still in a balanced way. So that happened through a friend of mine, a mutual friend of ours, Chantel and Tony, who had the I guess the placement for the production with BET, who was handling the commercials for the COVID relief program. And in that spot was a Dove commercial. And of course, they needed to promote the idea of washing your hands for 20 seconds. So that's where that came from. We worked on the song. I feel like she sent it to me, and the one for Dove. And I keep saying this, I feel like Michael Jackson, because it just listens to the music. But sometimes that's how it comes to me. It doesn't always happen that way. But this time, that listened to the song, and it was like the music was telling me what it wanted to say. It was so cool. So we wrote that, and then Dove loved it. And then Vaseline was like, well, we want one to tell people to moisturize after they wash their hands. So we worked in on that one.
Wait, so you're throwing out Dove and Vaseline like that's your cousins. Like, so these are the major like everyday brands. I have Dove and Vaseline around me right now.
I know it's kind of mind blowing, right?
Right.
It's kind of major, but I definitely talk about
Definitely
it.
major.
Yeah, so Vaseline.
Dove called me the other day.
Right.
Crazy. By way of, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry. But by way of our other friend, Chantel, like she's coming up here later, but
okay, great.
Crazy.
Yeah. Connections, man.
Divine connections at that.
Seriously.
Like, so I think I just have like maybe a few more questions because I know you're super busy. Like I called, no, I can't tell them the other day. I texted Joy, like, Joy, can you? She was like, I'm writing for, I'm not even gonna drop the name. I'm like, okay, that is very important. You go write for them, okay?
Okay, anything for you.
Oh, thank you. What do you feel like is an ideal so you talked about where you want your placement to be, but I guess I would say an ideal partnership as far as like your brand, or I would say an ideal features, because you specified singing and songwriting is that area for you, music. Who's that dream feature for your album? Let's just go ahead and get it out there. So,
Well, I would love to work with Chance the Rapper.
Oh, okay.
That would be fantastic. Musically, I feel like he is exactly what Kingdom Star represents.
Mm.
I would also love to work with Kanye.
Okay.
I would love to work with, and this is, so I feel like I have other not just musical collaborations I like to have. Like I would love to work with China McClain. I would love to work
Yes.
with Steve Harvey. Like I just people that I pay attention to, you can see the hand of the Lord is on their life, even if it's not necessarily in this specific arena. I just think that those people, they are the epitome of everything that I represent and everything that I want to say, the message that I want to get out to the world. So yeah, I have musical collabs and I have just like media collabs that I really want. Like I would love to have them on the podcast. Oh, that would be amazing.
Absolutely. Have you started your podcast yet?
Yes, we started filming. We're in the filming process now before we release anything. We just shot the
Okay.
pilot the other day. I'm so
Okay.
love this thing.
Let's go. Let's go. So, I think one of my last questions, I want to talk about your book.
Jeez.
Yes.
It's so funny because this book is just as old as my Atlanta move.
It is, but it's still so significant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's in the front of my house. Like it's not in the back with all the other books, but I keep this in the front just as like a consistent reminder of what I feel like God has called us to do. And so like, can you tell me a little bit about the process in writing this? Like I wanted to pull out something really specific, but like tell me a little bit about the process of writing this, because I remember you writing this and just like it's sucking up all of your weeks and nights and days.
You remember that?
I remember. Yes.
Yeah, it's weird. This was an 8-year process.
Wow.
Years. And the most of it, the stalling, from the time that it started to the time that it finished, was because I did not feel qualified to be saying the things that were coming through me and to me. I just felt like, wow, I haven't really seen all these things yet take place in my life and brand. So should I even say these things? Will anybody even listen to me? Will it matter? And I just remember there was a woman, again, your tribe, your people around you. There was a woman in my church who was really prophetic, and she kept saying, I keep hearing the Lord say, you need to finish this book. And she would give all these other people these crazy words, and mine was just, did you finish the book? I was like, where my good prophecy at? Why am I not getting nothing good? So I was like, all right, Lord, when I finally just accepted, okay, if he's serious about it, then I need to take it seriously too. I'm obviously qualified if he keeps hounding it. So I sat down, gave myself a deadline, pumped it out in like 4 weeks, Jasmine. What had been taking me 8 years. And it was unreal. Just finally saying, okay, this is what God gave me. Here it is. I don't know what your response is going to be, but I need to get this out because I feel like it's so much bigger than me. It's so much bigger than the doubts in my mind. I feel like it represents a generation. It represents a whole move of God. It was just so big. And I felt so small in writing it, but I was obedient, and I'm just seeing how it's blessing people and what it's grown to be from the celebrity interviews. I interviewed Mark and Saida. Mark was Usher's principal dancer. Saida was one of Beyonce's principal dancers.
Yes.
Interviewed Dr. Jackie from Married to Medicine. Just like being able to connect with these people and showing them what I'm doing and seeing them say, okay, yeah, I want to be a part of that. And then getting the clothing line. And it's been such a great move. So if anybody out there is thinking about writing a book, if you feel unqualified, if you feel like you don't know what you're doing necessarily, or your book is ahead of you a little bit, or your products are ahead of you, step into it anyway, because what seems to happen is like your life will catch up to the thing that you released through you. It's so powerful.
Wait, say that again. Say that one more time for the people in the back.
Go ahead and release whatever you feel like you need to release, and your life will catch up to the product or to the message. And just when you step into it and just let it go.
That is really good.
That's what happened to me, man. I can only speak from experience. I'm so grateful. And this is, I feel like I've only even scratched the surface.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all you've done. I mean, no, you've done amazing things already, but for where you're already going, God doesn't give you a brand like Kingdom Star for you to just stay local.
Right.
The kingdom is like everywhere. Like he doesn't do that for you just to stay put. I remember your Your Joy's dad is like amazing, y'all. We posted the flyer. He's like, my baby. And so like I remember when I believe he gave you the word that your sound was too big for where you were. Do you remember that? Yeah. So sometimes like identifying that. So that's why bringing people on like you is so important too for me, because like people need to see and identify like Joy is from VA, like from here. And now she's in Atlanta. It was a whole journey, but I mean, like now sky's the limit. And I remember you just breaking through and just like when that thing opened, it opened and you walked straight through. So we're so proud of you, Joy.
Thank you so much. You know, you're helping me appreciate my own life.
That was kind of.
I think I do have a tendency because things move so fast in this industry. You know, you don't really have time to really celebrate the things that you're accomplishing. But when you do look back, it's like, yo, but the resume is true though.
It's real. Yeah, the contacts are there. Seriously, it's easy to forget because it's because your dimension is changed, like your circle is changed, like your tribe is changed, and that's the whole point of what I wanted to talk about. Like you were doing Singers Room, like with Deanna Dixon, like she's out here doing amazing stuff, but that was your roommate, like
yes. And she's one of the people I was speaking about. One of the persons that I was introduced to by my friend Zach. Shout out to Zach. He's like the plug. Introduced me to Deanna. We ended up being roommates, became like sisters, and everything that she's done that opened the door for me to be a part of it too. Just unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. So good.
Well, thank you. I'm not going to ask you any more questions because we can go. But I appreciate you so much, big sis. Joy is definitely my big sister. I don't know where in the world I would be without those late night phone calls in LA, up praying.
Oh my gosh. We was in the trenches.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
In the mud.
Yes. But look what the Lord has done.
Look at God.
I'm proud of you also, Jasmine. Thank you for having me. This is fantastic. And I was actually taking notes earlier with what you were saying. I was like, this is needful. So please keep doing what you're doing. You're helping people like myself, companies like myself get into the real business of it and really walk this thing out in an excellent way. So thank you.
I love you. How can people follow you on your social media real quick?
Yeah, I'm at Jahbee _JAHBEE, which is in my name on the screen too. And my website is, again, joywarren.com. Got everything you need up there. It's just, come follow me, stalk me, send me a message. Very loving and friendly. So I always appreciate people that hit me up.
Awesome. Well, I love you, sis. We'll talk to you soon. You go and finish writing that hit that you were doing.
See y'all later.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Joy, that's my girl. That's just one of the examples of the power of sticking with what you have, because like God can do anything. And you've heard her story, but make sure you guys follow her at joywarren.com, at Jahbee on Instagram, Facebook. She has super dope content. And again, you can get you one of these really cool t-shirts, Kingdom Star, order her book, all of that good stuff. But yeah, that's all. I just wanted you guys to see that conversation. I'll have a lot more of them later on, but I really just wanted you guys to remember that the people that you're connected to are so important to where you're going. I'm beyond blessed to be able to call Joy, like not just my friend, but one of my big sisters, one of my closest friends, who has been there to push me when I was tired. I didn't want to do it, and vice versa. And so, even though we're not working on projects like consistently, there's still so much value in the people that you start with and the people that you'll finish with. And so hopefully this week, if you're building your brand, if you're working on something, kind of consider those partnerships that you maybe want to pursue. And then consider those that you want to attract, like the new people that you haven't thought about. Maybe God has a larger territory for you that you haven't really considered. But because you were kind of like, oh, this is all I can do, you may have forgotten there's so much more out there. So many people are waiting for you to be where you need to be. And so I am going to get off of here, but thank you all for tuning in. This was fun. I'll definitely share some of the videos and content later on Instagram. This will turn into a podcast later on. And last week, I posted a brand new ebook. Yay! That's called Fearless Branding. If you go to fearlessinfluencers.com, you can download that. And that's pretty much it's 10 chapters worth of content on how to get started with your brand on social media, really refining it, defining who you're trying to reach, all of that good stuff. And then I'm passionate, and I realized that the people that I am usually working with are Christian influencers, like people like Joy, who are doing major things for God in a broader arena. And so I have created a 5-week intensive course. I only have a few slots left, but I'm walking with you one-on-one, and also some group sessions to really help you refine your brand, define where you're trying to go, and build content towards that, because you feel called to a specific group of people. And I really want to help you do that. And so that's there. All of that's at fearlessinfluencers.com. And so if you guys are interested, definitely check it out. I believe I'm back next week. I believe so. But definitely leave me comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking, how you're liking the talk so far. And I'm really, really excited to keep it going and getting more guests on here. But thank you guys so much. You all have an amazing, amazing day.